All right, back for a t-test of independent means part 3. Reset the software, reset the computer. No idea what that glitch was, but we're back. I want to show you how to do kind of an advanced trick with this to put some things together. Again, just so you can get a feel for real world data analysis, what we would do here and how we'd answer some of these questions. Also, I had kind of made a cardinal sin in that I had not clicked the save button right after I assigned this treatment group, which was the last new variable I added in. So the data we might get from this example might be a little bit different from before because I had to go in and randomly assign all my ones and zeros. But let's say we were entering this with the research question. Like, let's say we going on before, we had looked at our data and we saw, okay, there was no difference in terms of giving these students a book to read on stress reduction versus having students do a stress reduction class. But let's say we looked at this and we looked at the majors that participated and we thought, you know what, Drury has a reputation for having a pretty rigorous education program. I bet the students that signed up to do this stress reduction study, I would bet my education students that signed up, I had a real stressed out group of education students. So maybe I want to compare the education students with all the other students in terms of what was their stress level when they signed up to do the stress reduction seminar. Now, I have a problem with the data as it looks right now, because if I come over here to analyze and compare means, and I try to group it by major for my t-test, I can only do group 1 and group 2, right? So I could compare education to one of these other majors, but I couldn't compare my education students with all the other groups, at least not using a t-test, without transforming my data a little bit. And I want to show you how to do that just for practical purposes. So remember earlier, example way back at the beginning of the semester, I showed you how to use this transform function. We're going to do this again. So let's click on here and we're going to verify we coded education as 3. So let's come over here. Let's say we're going to recode it into a new variable. We're going to tell it our old variable was major. We want to rename our new variable education or not. Let's just be very simple with this, education or not. Our old and new value. Value 3, which was our education majors, we're going to make that a value of 1. And we're going to want to write a note somewhere sitting next to us that 1 equals education majors, because you don't want to recode this and then forgot what you did and then have to redo it. It's annoying. I've done it many times. We're going to tell it that everything else that they could have entered as one of their option for majors is going to be a value of 0. And what this does is it allows it to set up 1 equals education, 0 equals not education. 0 equals everybody else. We're going to continue. We're going to click change. We're going to click OK. So now right here we have this. And let's go ahead and tell it our value labels so we don't forget. So 1 is education. 0, not education. And you can label this in whatever way you need to make sense for you. It's your data. So now let's come over here and do our compared means, independent samples t-test, pre-test, come over here, education or not. Group 1 value is not education. Group 2 value is education. Continue, okay. Let's click on our output. And here we see